Hey, Squid Goat. Hey, Vanna. Get good old Jecka tomorrow. Hey, Jay. Hey, Gonbrook. Storming there? Where am I? Like your shirt? I think that's my Jubilee shirt. Hey, Fernanda. I'm the same place I always am, Gonbrook. I'm at home. Am I supposed to be somewhere different? Does it? Just checking. Starting to wonder, like, does it look different somehow? No, I'm just in my room as usual. Apocalypse Now shirt. Cool, cool. I think I saw that movie back in high school, back when I teeny tiny shorts. I think we watched it in like an English class, maybe. I believe we might have watched it in an English class, if I'm remembering correctly. Hey, honey bunny. Hey, Poppy. So excited for the Jecka game. I had to Google it immediately because I couldn't believe it was out already. Yeah, it dropped. It dropped Sunday night / Monday morning. Scared of the storm. Aw. Don't be scared, Vanna. You'll be okay. Yeah, it dropped 3:13 Monday morning. I got the email. I was actually like, I was on a stream and email came in. Her name is Helen. Yeah, as on a live stream, email came in announcing that the game had released. Phone better be fully charged. Good point. Yeah, if the storm knocks out the power. Also charging a speaker that I can use to charge my phone. Good, good. Man, power outages suck. And your Switch. And you're going to need something to do if the power goes out. Watched a video last night of some of the most interesting things that people have created in not necessarily just most interesting, but some of the wildest things that the people have created in Tears of the Kingdom. Vehicles and a few that are just things. Flip side and that. I did notice that comic book. A lot of it does seem to be, funnily enough, I saw people talking about it. Like I saw it trending on Twitter. People were It seems to have been pretty controversial. Like it does seem to have gotten some pretty. There's a couple issues. For one thing, $20. It's $20, and it's shorter than the first two. The base game is really good reviews. Hey, Buttercup, controversial how? So yeah, to start with, it's $20, and so it costs more than either of the first two games, while also being significantly shorter. So a lot of people felt ripped off for that. Um, Beyond that, a lot of people just found it. A lot of people seem to have found it disappointing. Um, one thing that seems to have gotten one thing I saw brought up a lot was like foot fetish shit. Like there was some weird foot fetish stuff with it that apparently some people didn't much like. Like I don't. Yeah, I mean that. Like I'll like. Yeah, I don't like foot fetish stuff. Like I do not go for foot stuff. The thing involving Jecka is going to be good. But the haters, yep. Jecka is our. No, it's just water. I don't drink. I haven't had a Coca Cola product in. Actually, I shouldn't say that. The only time that I have Sprite is when I'm at a restaurant. Whenever I actually go out for supper, I'll admit I do end up getting a Sprite. Otherwise, though, I don't drink any soda. I don't drink any Coca Cola products. He's a 10 out of 10, but he has a foot fetish new rating. Same people who Google reviewed FB that hotel. Same winner for dinner. It's been a few weeks. Don't remember exactly, but a few weeks ago, I think. Though actually, speaking of Coke, I see that the conservatives are pissy and wanting to boycott Coke because they can't put Jesus on a can or on a bottle or whatever. They can't put the name Jesus. Favorite restaurant to go to? Philo's. Philo's my favorite restaurant. Right wing radical. Hey, Red Star. Last one. Because they discontinued spiced Coke. But no, I'd be concerned that Jesus would turn my beverage into another beverage. Fair. But no, apparently Coke is doing something where like you can get a get your name printed on the label or something. Hey, Ian, top 5 worst films in your opinion? Uh, I don't know. Batman Begins. Jesus is a name people have. Yeah, I was just thinking that Jesus. Like Jesus is actually a pretty common name among uh, Latinos. So you'd think they'd be the ones who would be annoyed about it, but no. Conservatives who are just always looking for something to be pissed about. Something. Anything at all that can make them feel like they're victims. Conservatives have the biggest victim complex on the planet. Anyway, so yeah, top 5 worst films. So yeah, Batman Begins, the J.J. Abrams Star Trek films, the two Star Trek films that J.J. Abrams directed, fucking awful. Um, what are some other terrible films I've seen? Trying to think of films that I've watched that just legitimately pissed me off. There's not that many. Or at least like I can't like I don't really dwell on the bad movies very like I don't really dwell on bad movies. Um, Beetlejuice. Hey, Gigi. I will not. I have no interest in Beetlejuice 2. Actually, here's it. So I had no real interest in Beetlejuice 2. And then I saw that Johnny Depp was in it, and uh, and I then had negative interest in it. What are you having for dinner? I got myself some wings and potato wedges from Pizza Pizza. What's with all the repetition? Mm. Should I get Taco Bell? I mean, if that's what you want. Cramp like I had a Charlie horse in my sleep. Oh, I have no evidence besides this cramp. Hey, Valerie. Hey, Jimmy. Eight orders of Fiesta potatoes. Worst films, Star Wars sequels, the live action Dragon Ball. I never watched the live action Dragon Ball. Never watched the anime Dragon Ball for that matter. For the Star Wars sequels, so Force Awakens was okay. Force Awakens was fun. It suffered from the fact that George Lucas just wanted to remake the original Star Wars. Like that's like it. It was just the original Star Wars. Hey, Smack and Cheese. Um, but I mean, it was mostly fun. Last Jedi was very good. I really liked Last Jedi. The girl who had a Dragon Ball tattooed rather large on her neck. Cool, cool. The girl with the Dragon Ball tattoo. Fucking god damn it! That'd be a solid parody. That feels like it should exist. Yeah. Last Jedi was actually really good. It was smart. There was some really good direction. Um, like I understand the criticism of some of the parts feeling like they dragged on a bit, but or like certain things, like the entire trip to the casino planet, because they didn't end up actually like getting the dude they were there for, and the dude they did get betrayed them, and like, you know, I did see criticism of that feeling like it was largely pointless, but the point was sort of to get it served a couple purposes. It got Finn personally invested in the rebellion, and I mean, to a certain extent, it's kind of about failure. Like a key theme about the movie was failure as a teacher. So I did like that part about Force Awakens. Like I do think that that was, like I said, a major part of what they were going for. So I understand some of the criticisms. I don't really agree with all of the criticism. Yeah, Last Jedi was good. Uh, Rise of Skywalker was not great. It had some reasonably fun stuff going on, but it also had like a lot of really stupid ideas. And hey, Kelly. Yeah, so that one was not a good movie. And that one, I think, more than any other film, is like the movie that proves that J.J. Abrams, while a talented cinematographer, is a shitty storyteller. Like J.J. Abrams, hey, Dainty Beats. J.J. Abrams knows how to set up a shot. Don't think J.J. Abrams wasn't a good choice. Bring back the director for episode 9. He wasn't. Because it's clear that he's not a good storyteller. He's just not. Maybe with his own like I don't know. Maybe he needs specific limits to be able to tell a good story. But yes, Vanna. But like his 2 Star Trek movies, fucking awful. Um, Singing the song about me, the one that Dainty Beats came up with. Yeah. Or like Lost. People like love Lost, but I mean, like that one was just the whole time. It was by the like they were just improvising by the seat of their pants. Like there's Abrams never had an actual plan with Lost. He was just making it up as he went along, which is when you're telling a mystery story. Like if you're telling a mystery story, making it up as you go along is not actually particularly good storytelling. Like I said, the Star Trek movies sucked. His 2 Star Wars movies were just retellings of the original trilogy. Nothing. He had absolutely nothing interesting to say with his Star Wars movies. They were just aping. Star Wars. That's everyone's favorite song title. There's an interview with Tetsuya Nomura, and he said he has to go on YouTube to watch videos about his games because he forgot his own lore. I can believe it. Nomura, which was he? The Dark Souls? Was he the Dark Souls guy? Or am I thinking somebody else? Or was he Final Fantasy? Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy 7? Ah, okay. So. Yeah, I can believe it. Yeah, favorite song title. Nobody knows the Kingdom Hearts lore. Right? I don't know much about Kingdom Hearts, but I know that nobody knows. But I know that the lore is fucking gets fucking weird. Anyway, favorite song title. I Want to Keep Your Dog is a really good song title. So stupid. I love it. Sephiroth and Winnie the Pooh in the same game. Oh, bother. That just makes me. KH2 is an actual masterpiece. That just reminds me of that when Sephiroth was announced for Smash Bros. And that trailer had him look like he impaled Mario. It's like, video games are weird. Video games are very strange sometimes. Dream Drop Distance was my childhood. Grew up poor, so it was like one of the two or three 3DS games I had. Love when franchises reference each other. Yeah, I mean, it's usually a lot of fun when they do, but sometimes it gets. Occasionally, it can be a bit, a little bit weird, or maybe once in a while, even kind of a little bit masturbatory in a non-fun way. Yeah, I've never played any Kingdom Hearts games. Everything I know about Kingdom Hearts is just from like really is just from like watching videos about various games. Played Destiny Islands for hours because I thought that was the whole game. It is tutorial level. Well, suppose it just means that by the time you got to the rest of the game, you were good level, right? I assume that you've leveled up quite a bit. Always helps. Level 99 Destiny Islands. It. Back in the day, I used to be one of those who would, level grinding. I used to be one of those types who would like try to get to like max level. Did he have a game? Who cares? Who cares what Diddy has? Ever written your own story with your own characters? Yeah. Gaming terms are so gay too. Grinding. You're not wrong. Yeah, there's a period of like a few years, a couple years, yeah, 4 years, 4 or 5 years, where I was writing a this superhero story. I don't remember what site I was. Shit, what site did I post it to? I genuinely don't remember what site I posted that story to. I know it's still up. Like I never took it down, so I know it's still up there. But legitimately, I don't even remember what site it was that I posted it on. Which feels funny to me. The premise. Oh yeah, I remember the story. I remember the story pretty well. It was a lot of it was like X Men, like sort of X Men knockoff kind of story. Honestly, a lot of it. Um, yeah, it's about like a team of superheroes and stuff. What I would say about the story, it needed editing, and I was never much for editing. So like it's not that it was like it wasn't that it was a bad story. It by no means was it a bad story. Yeah, like I am not like at the risk of my own OC, like at the risk of seeming uh, arrogant. I am not a bad writer. The issue is that I don't edit, and that like editing is necessary in order to create a good story, and I was not doing that. So the story itself, you know, it wasn't great. Yeah, I haven't written anything since like it's like 2015 that I sort of really fell out of it, and like I haven't written since then. So every once in a while, I think about trying to get back into writing and shared before. Yeah, I mean, I was posted like I was. I don't know that I've posted like I don't know that I've shared it with the channel because I started the channel long after I stopped writing it, and I was hey time. Thought you were holding a cat with the color of your shirt. Holding a cat? What? Like, I've been practicing forging Becky Williams' signature. Valuable skill. No, I never shared it with the channel, and I don't really, if people find it and read it, sure, whatever. But live action would. I mean, they wouldn't. And hey, Joanna, I'm not good at casting. Like, I'm not good. Like, I don't bother doing fan casting because the thing is, like, I don't really know enough modern actors. Let chat edit your writing. Nah, get another cat. Only if I can get another apartment. And who the fuck knows if that when that'll happen. Still praying for the Villa season 2. Yeah, I don't know enough modern actors. I don't watch enough movies and TV shows to be able to do fan casting for like anything. Like really, also helps it. Frankly, my answer to a lot of who would you cast in this role is probably going to be like nobody. I would not adapt this. I would not adapt this particular franchise for live action. Yeah. Oh, live action Zelda. Who would you cast for Link? Nobody. I would not do a live action Zelda. I would make it. I would do an animated series for Zelda, or else keep it as a video game. Hot new bombshell has entered the villa. And with my luck, she's got. With my luck, she'd be more interested in Chantel than in me. Anya Taylor Joy would be a good Zelda. I mean, maybe, but like I said, I wouldn't do a live action Zelda movie. Zelda would work better as either keep it as a video game, or if you do want to adapt it, make it an animated series. Studio Ghibli should have made a Zelda animated film. They would have made an amazing animated Zelda. The thing is, though, that's not really what Ghibli does. Ghibli doesn't really do adaptations of video games. They adapt books. But even then, it's inspired by a book. Like New Legend of Zelda live action movie with CDI Zelda voice actor. Like for Kiki's Delivery Service. They adapted Kiki's Delivery Service, but it's more of a like loosely inspired by Kiki. Howl's Moving Castle is loosely inspired by the book. What do you think of the spin-off of Walking Dead with Daryl Dixon? I have never read or watched or played any Walking Dead. Never read the comic, never watched the show, never played any of the games. So, the Steve Urkel voice from Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon. So yeah, like Studio Ghibli will regularly adapt books, but even then, it's more of a loose adaptation. So they don't let's adapt this video game. That's just they have their own stories they want to tell. Like the directors of Ghibli movies have their own stories that they do want to tell, and I love it about them. I loved the show till they changed the writers. Just recently borrowed the Howl's Moving Castle books. Haven't started yet. Yeah, I haven't read any of the Howl's Moving Castle. I have heard good things about the books. I don't know. It's something I wouldn't mind reading. I did enjoy the movie. Even if I was never completely sold on Christian Bale as Howl, I enjoyed the movie. Directors of Studio Ghibli said they never want live action movies. Well, no, of course they wouldn't. Why would they? And why would you even try? Like, why would you even try to do a live action adaptation of Kiki? Spirited Away play? Well, that's something different. That's like a completely different format, though. Like the Spirited Away play is a different medium entirely. That's one of those things where it's a legitimately unique take on it. Spirited Away is already a movie. You don't need to make another movie of the movie because the movie already exists. They can be adapted, sure, to completely different mediums. Howell is so handsome. He is. But like, you don't need to make another. You don't need to do a movie adaptation of Totoro because the movie already exists. You need to do something unique with it. Spirited Away as a play was like, I would absolutely fucking kill to see it. I would kill to see the Spirited Away play. Well, it would be like Schindler's List, the musical. Live action Totoro would be horrifying. Kinda. To do with Lion King. Yeah, and it made money, but I mean, a lot of people hated it, and the truth is, the animated Lion King is always going to have a much, like, 20 years from now, people are going to watch the animated Lion King. They will not watch the live action Lion King 20 years from now. They will watch the animated version because the animated version holds up. The live action version didn't fucking hold up for the time that it was made. You just watch live action adaptations, which is, yeah, very, very rarely are they worth watching. It is exceptionally rare for a live action adaptation of something to be worth watching. Miyazaki mentioned that he hates AI art. Oh yeah, wastes people's jobs and dedication. He called it something like an offense to life itself. Yeah, AI art is, yeah. Why? Like, what's AI art is not art. Totoro on Ice. See, that would fucking work. Yeah, you want it like Totoro on Ice? Yeah, Totoro on Ice. By all means. Great movie release version that's worse than the original. Why bother? Exactly. Like the live action Lion King is not as good as the animated. It's not as expressive. . 'Expressive. 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 My AI work is art. No. Algorithmically generated art is a plagiarism machine. Like that algorithmically generated artwork, it's a plagiarism machine. There's no actual thought that goes into it. And like the people who make it are like, oh, you gotta put a lot of thought into the prompt. You know, it takes a lot of work to get the prompt right, and it's like, fuck off. And yeah, the art itself, it's just there's no actual intent behind it. Can be art depending on the work put into it. Should I be allowed to rate films? Nope. Who knows if they pulled off with the books? They haven't. My friend tried playing Fargo for me, but I was confused. It was the movie and not the show. Didn't know why Steve Buscemi was there. I mean, why wouldn't he be there? Look, Steve Buscemi showing up is always a treat. If you see him show up, you just got to be like, all right, we're doing Steve Buscemi. Nice to see you. Convinced that Disney's movie Wish was written by AI? No, Wish was written by I suspect Wish was written by look at all the past Disney movies and Rest movie. More likely, it was written by committee. Like, I never watched Wish. If it was badly written, it was because they were trying to do something that didn't really work. So whack, every part of it felt randomized. Yeah, I mean, like, I think what probably happened is, yeah, it was just too many notes. They were being asked to do too many things. But no movies have actually been written by AI. What's likely to happen, not sure if it's happened yet, but what is very likely to happen is that at some point studios will attempt to have a movie written by an AI, and then have human writers come in and polish it. Thing is, the original movie is going the AI script is going to be absolute fucking garbage. A lot of movies try to make it appeal to everyone, which makes it appeal to no one. Which I think, hey, Color Purple, which I think is probably what happened with Wish. Or I should say part of what happened with Wish. What happened with Wish, from what I've read about it, and I mean I've read very little about it, but from what I've gathered from just people talking about like the idea behind it seems like what happened with Wish is that there is a talking goat in Wish. Well, it can't be all bad then. Basically, they were trying to do too much with it, I think. Disney's films are ass now. I mean, I mean, I would suspect that some of their movies are probably still pretty good. Turning Red was Disney, right? I heard very good things about Turning Red. Pixar remaster of Isn't it good? I mean, I've been having a good time with it, Jimmy. What I will say for Final Fantasy IV, if you want to play Final Fantasy IV, play the 3D remake. Legitimately better. Like, it's legitimately the best version out there. That said, the Pixel remaster, it's good for what it is, which is just, an updated version of the original game. Produced by Pixar. Released by Disney. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, like I said, I suspect there's probably still some good movies coming out of Disney. But the live action remakes are not among them. I mean, some of them might appeal to kids, like that Little Mermaid, that live action Little Mermaid. I heard that it, was FF16. I know almost nothing about 16. I know virtually nothing about FF16 at all. Except for any movies coming up? Nah. It's like it doesn't exist. Like, I mean, I've seen like a couple memes about it, but that's about it. And only because I'm following a Final Fantasy meme account. Disney Pixar skin, because as you guys know, she has excoriation. What? One thing I've heard about 16 is that it is very much a solo game. Like it's focused on a like there is an actual protagonist. Most Final Fantasy games tend to be about the party. Like there's a main character. There might be a main character. Final Fantasy IV, the main character is Cecil. It is he's the protagonist. But there is a party. Final Fantasy X is about Tidus, but there is the rest of the party, and they do get focus. 16, from what I've heard, is of all the FF games, the most individual focused. The main character, that is the main character. It is his story almost entirely. There's very, very little party stuff in there. Isn't it great? Makes sense why I haven't heard anything about it. Well, I mean, the reason you haven't heard anything about it is because it was a PS5 exclusive. And very few people have PS5. The Final Fantasy VII remake and Rebirth. A lot of people talk about those games because Final Fantasy VII itself is hugely beloved. So the remake, yeah, of course people talked about that one. Final Fantasy 16 doesn't have that nostalgia factor, and being released on the PS5 means, not a lot of people able to buy it. All due respect. I did not. That one came out after I stopped watching anything that Disney made. Because Disney is evil. Disney is just a fucking I have serious issues with Disney as an entity. I feel like they are basically a monopoly. So I just have issues with Disney, so I don't want to give them any of my money. At the same time, I don't really like pirating shit because it just feels shitty to do. So I haven't watched any of the Marvel stuff since what was the last one? The Spider-Man movie, Far From Home, or No Way Home. The last Marvel project I watched was Far From Home, Spider-Man Far From Home, Yeah, I haven't watched Multiverse of Madness. Some of the things I heard about it did not make me particularly make me think that I might not have. I don't know. America Shadows. I think. I suspect that had I watched it, I probably would have been really unhappy with how it did America Chavez because I love her in the comics. She is such a fun character in the comics. Elden Ring? Never played Elden Ring. Because like when we meet her in the comics, she's been, you know, basically she's been traveling the multiverse on her own for years, despite the fact that she's, still very young, basically a teen, like still, she's like late teens. She's like 18, 19 years old. And, she's been traveling the multiverse for a long time. She is an expert on the multiverse. She's also a legitimate powerhouse. Stopped watching after Love and Thunder. But yeah, so like Chavez in the comics is just this powerhouse who always knows more than anyone else, who generally knows more than the people around her. From what I've heard, Multiverse of Madness kind of turns her into just a MacGuffin. Like it sounds like there's a bit of damsel in distress going on with her, and that she is just sort of a walking MacGuffin for a lot of the movie. So I feel like had I watched the movie, I would have been pissed off about its handling of her. She's also unfunny. She has a bit of a dry humor in the comics. Like she's not a funny character in the comics either. She occasionally gets like, she might occasionally get this sort of sardonic line, but for the most part, she's not somebody who does quips. Badass lines. She gets badass lines all the time. There's I hate that they made the MCU characters too goofy. Yeah, that was sort of an issue that I had. Like they really start leaning into the comedy more and more. Everyone has to be a quipper. Doctor Strange has to be have the exact same personality as Tony Stark. Like everyone has to always be joking. I do feel like they started leaning on the humor a bit too much. Funnily enough, Eternals avoids that. For all the hate that Eternals gets, I genuinely think that Eternals is deeply underrated. Eternals was a good movie, and one of its strengths was that it had some comedy. Is it Kingo, the Bollywood actor, and his and the cameraman who was following him around? They were funny. That was some comedy, but it never went too far. Eternals was did a phenomenal job at not letting the comedy go too far. It was restrained in that sense. There were funny moments, but Infinity War was trying too much trying to be funny. Yeah, Endgame as well. Same thing. Trying really hard to be funny. I think that's the reason I can't watch MCU movies. Yeah, I do think, and like I don't know if that's what movies have I missed. There was Thor 4, Thor, Steve Buscemi as Joker. I would fucking watch that. If you cast Steve Buscemi as the Joker, that is a movie I will fucking watch. Trying to save the universe from Thanos hit Thor as a chip. Yeah, but like, yeah. So what? I'm trying to think of the ones I missed. I've missed four. Thor 4, Thor. I will not apologize for that pun. And that one was with Taika Waititi, I think. So that one I assume was a lot of fun humor. I think there's Guardians of the Galaxy 3, so obviously a lot of comedy in that one. Multiverse of Madness, they had way too much comedy in the first Doctor Strange movie. I'm guessing they probably still had a lot of comedy in Doctor Strange too. Uh, Marvels. I didn't watch the Marvels, and I did hear the Marvels was a lot of fun. That it was funny, and then it had a musical planet. I heard they had a planet where like people were singing, and I appreciate that because that actually comes from the comics. Like legitimately, literally, the musical planet comes from the comics, which is just I love that. So yeah, I heard that the Marvels was really funny. What else did I miss? What other movies? I assume there's a. Was it only the four movies? It has to be more than four movies that have come out in the past 3 years, right? Shit, I have no idea. Thor 4, Guardians 3, Doctor Strange 2, Marvels. What other movies have come out? Should have been the MCU at Endgame. I don't think. I mean, I disagree with that. I don't think they should have ended it. I think it's fine to keep going. One of my coworkers brought up Stray Gods randomly. I almost lost my cool. I was like, I know that game. That's funny. That's funny. I haven't played it, but I know it. You watched me play it. We all played it together. We all played it together. It's a good game. It's a good game though. Stray Gods is a good game. The one where it's a musical while trying to keep a neutral face. I mean, you could have been honest about the fact that you did watch it. That's right. Black Panther 2. I don't know how comedic was Black Panther 2. Jamie, I'm asking how it was. Black Panther 2, was that one funny? Ant-Man and the Wasp, Ant-Man 3. I'm guessing that one would have been very comedic. Enjoyed how Tom Holland wasn't as predictable as previous adaptations. In retrospect, thinking back on it, I do still wish that he had been able to quit more in fights. He was actually like Civil War actually did a really good job with allowing him to quit, even though it made no like it didn't actually make sense for him to be there. I like the fact that he was able to quip. Chat room time would be vulnerable for me to share. Fair enough, fair enough. I think Brooke likes her coworker. Didn't want to scare her off. Didn't want to scare her off by talking about watching people on YouTube. Fair enough. Yeah, like in retrospect, in his own movies, during fights, he didn't really. Because I mean, like one of the main things that's not like one of the main things about Spider-Man is that you know in fights he makes jokes, partly to cover his own fear, partly to throw off his opponents. And hey, Beverly, in retrospect, and I mean, it has been a while since I watched any of them, but in retrospect, I'm not sure he really did that very much in fights in his own movies. Like there was a lot of humor in those movies, but it wasn't quite the same. I hate everyone I know. I avoid that by not knowing people. Indifferent to the Marvel comic books and love. Oh, absolutely. I mean, of course, there's differences. In general, the comics are better because they have more time. Like they have more time and space to sort of build shit up, build it out. Better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. Yeah, I mean, part of why, like, I'm a comic book fan. Like, I grew up on the comics. I loved the comics. So the movies were never as satisfying to me. And like the Infinity War comic book is a legitimate classic. Phenomenal comic. Infinity War movie, eh, it was fun. It was reasonably enjoyable. Was $500 book you wanted? So yeah, there is a New Mutants graphic novel. It was it Marvel graphic? Was it number one? Yeah, Marvel graphic novel New Mutants. 4. Marvel graphic novel 4. New Mutants. The debut of the New Mutants. That's the other one I want. I did pick up the one, like the one that I did pick up was Amazing Spider-Man Annual 28, was it? The debut of Monica Rambeau, who is a great character. Other one I want to get is yeah, the debut of the New Mutants. I do already have New Mutants Annual number 1. Steal This Planet. I still feel like the most unfortunate thing about Marvel buying Fox or Disney buying Fox, there was always the it eliminated the possibility. It wasn't. It was a very slim, but it wasn't likely to happen anyway. But like, even the possibility of a New Mutant sequel based on that annual, because it would have been fucking amazing. Like a superhero musical would have been. It would have been a fun time. I mean, I suppose it's like, in theory, it's possible that like 10 or 15 years from now, Marvel Studios could do it whenever they finally get around to the new adapting the New Mutants, if they ever do. But Jen said in their toilets. I mean, toilet humor goes back millennia. Every generation has had an appreciation for toilet humor. Favorite pizza topping? Pepperoni. Toilets are designed to be nearly impossible to accidentally drown in. I did not know that. But it makes sense. Who's that in the closet? You mean this? This is Cove. South Park? Not really. I used to enjoy South Park when I was younger, but I really got fed up with them. You're hiding in my closet too? Yeah, but I can't see you there. Get out of the closet. No, it's comfortable in my closet. Doing our hospitalized by tornado impression right now. Hey, Rebecca. Jecka, Class of '09. Jecka is one of the main characters in the visual novels Class of '09. New game tomorrow comes out. Class of '09, the flip side, which is going to be from her perspective. And yeah, that's Jecka right there. What who Comic Book just posted. That's Jecka. Closet is getting cramped. You need a bigger closet. How many t-shirts do you say you want? I don't know. Couple dozen or so. There's a fair number that I never actually wear. I got them a little bit, yeah, they're a little bit smaller than I find comfortable. We start a new game, then I can pretend that the dinosaurs never die. There. Hey, Brooksy. They keep a sack of rice near in case of emergency. Good thinking. I mean, not in case of emergency. It's in case of it's so I can eat. I keep rice in my room to eat it. So whenever I'm hungry, I can just like dip into the bag and Dazzler, Jubilee, Spirited Away, Navy V-neck, brown V-neck, gray V-neck. Keep these nuts in your mom's gob. Sailor Moon. There's I've got an Arietti shirt. I've got a No Face T-shirt. Hey, Class 09, I won't be tuning in. All right, sure, Rebecca. I've got another Sailor Moon T-shirt. Got a No Face T-shirt. I've got a Princess Mononoke T-shirt. Pretend you're getting married and throw the rice around sometimes. Still the one have the teeth. Pretty sure I've still got it. I feel like I'm pretty sure I do. Aquabats. I've heard of them, yeah. I have a T-shirt that says pants. Good, good. I've got my Class of '09 T-shirt. That's right. I've got a Class of '09 T-shirt. My No T-shirt. Got a She-Ra T-shirt. Squirrel Girl. Drawn more. I probably will. Never been to Universal Studios now. Scientists who was in foster care are saying the moon is fake. I'm guessing they're homes. I'm guessing that the scientist is homeschooled. Just be careful of attracting drones because they might try to sell you something. I'll let them know I'm not interested. Any other types of shirts? I have my Spider-Gwen hoodie. And hi, Julia. But no, like I don't wear like sweaters or anything like that. It's all t-shirts all the way down. Dr. Teeth, yeah, that's right. Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem. Moonside, yeah. Moonside and Gigas. My Moonside and Gigas t-shirts. I do have probably like 6 or 8 plain t-shirts. Like no designs or anything on them. Maybe 6 or 8. Jane Doe, yeah. Got the Jane Doe shirt. In the middle of filming the live action Powerpuff Girls. Got canceled because being unfaithful source material. I did hear about it, and yeah, it sounded terrible. Like there was a leaked script that looked abysmal. Just incredibly stupid. So happy it was canceled. Do not ruin my Powerpuff Girls any more than they already did. Yeah, you didn't really need a. You did not need a scene where Buttercup was slut shamed for sleeping with a lot of women. Jazz, less than I should. I honestly like jazz. Is one of those things like I feel like I should listen to, but it's not really my thing. Hey, J Dot. Sax. I mean, the sax can be a pretty fun instrument. It's not really common in indie rock, though. 3 more days to their birthday. Oh, yeah, that's right. Awkward Mr. X faces human trafficking charges. Yeah, I could believe it. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if you're being serious about that scapegoat, but I could absolutely believe that that would be a thing. It says, happy early birthday, J Dot. Um, I'm not likely to go live on the day of your birthday, so happy early birthday. How's my day been? Yeah. I went to bed way too late, so then I slept in pretty late. Did not visit my mom today. Turns out she's got bed bugs. Turns out my mom does have bed bugs. So she's going to have someone in on Friday to spray. CW shows within their DC universe is pretty bad. Should have multiple superheroes in one show to establish its connected universe. I need to watch them just keep up with lore. Yeah. She get bed bugs? No idea how she got them. But yeah, she had like someone came in a few days. Like someone came in, and they found a couple of bed bugs. So they only found a couple, so she's not infested, but she needs to have her apartment sprayed in order to prevent, make sure that she doesn't end up infested. What sucks is she does have a cat. So, like, the cat can't be there while the spraying is going on. So, Friday morning, I'm going to need to head over to her place to pick up her cat, bring back here. Keep her cat in my room while I am trying to sleep. Bring the cat to yours. Yeah, that's what's happening. Please go live. It's gonna be 8 a.m. I'm gonna be picking up at like 8 a.m. in the morning. I work at 5 in the I'll need to sleep. I can't go live with them. I need to I need to sleep. Gonna be interesting trying to sleep with a confused and probably scared cat, and who will probably end up pretty restless as well. Get some cat cuddles. We'll see. Not sure if you'll be comfortable cuddling me. Don't let the bed bugs try to sell you anything. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's gonna be see. I'm gonna have to pick him up and bring him over here before I go to bed, and then my mom will probably be picking him up, right around when I'm getting up to get ready for work. So check the cat before it gets in your car. Well, I don't have a car, but before it gets in the apartment, yeah. The bugs are no joke. I'm aware. And yeah, I assume that they will be checking on them. Or that they will be checking them. Same thing. I mean, I am nervous about how it's gonna go. Entirely possible, and not even like entirely possible that I won't end up getting any sleep that day. Just want to spend $20 at the Costco food court and go into a coma. The rotating, steamy thing on top always entices me. I never want Burger King. I had them rarely as a kid, and they did not impress me. So, like the couple of occasions where, the very few occasions where I did have them back when I was a kid, yeah, I just was not impressed at all. Nashy. Yeah, and I suppose like part of it might be, I always just got like a hamburger. Hamburger and fries, and their fries were fucking abysmal. Burger King is awful, but I'm biased because I don't eat meat. I do eat meat. For my dinner, I ordered chicken wings and potato wedges from Pizza Pizza. Salad and chicken? Boo. What's a show that makes me nostalgic? I mean, Star Trek Next Generation. I mean, that's a show that I grew up on. A side note: I've basically finished my rewatch of Star Trek Voyager. Just got the series finale left to watch. So either tonight or tomorrow or Friday, I'll be watching. Finish Star Trek Voyager. Woot woot. Should that make nostalgic? Cowboy Bebop a little bit because I watched that one back when I was late teens. In a weird way, My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. I only started watching that. Like I watched that. I started watching that one in 2011. It's not that long ago. 13 years ago. Yeah, it's like 26 years old when I started watching that one, but still elements of nostalgia about it. Gonna fight you on the cheesy roll up, but I respect the hustle of the dollar menu. Yeah, like Olive Garden. I have never been to Olive Garden as far as I can recall. We don't have it in Cornwall. I don't think that Shantana ever went to an Olive Garden in Ottawa. I genuinely could not tell you if Ottawa has an Olive Garden. Hey Arnold. I never watched Hey Arnold. I was aware of it, but I never watched it. Yeah, I honestly have no idea if there's an Olive Garden in Ottawa. Breakfast burrito this morning. Cool, cool. Hey, hot wasabi. Is Niara with her whole chest. I don't approve of it. I know why it happened. Like when we were younger, it was an exceptionally common word. Arthur? Again, aware of it, never watched it. Yeah, like the R slur was everywhere when we were younger. We absolutely grew up with it. I still sometimes have to catch myself, thinking it. Like I'll still sometimes catch myself thinking that word. So it's easy to fall. It's easy to fall back into it. I do disapprove of it. I'm not happy that she did it. I do remember back in the day. I do remember, you know, back when we were living together. I did. There were a couple of times where she'd say it, and I'd be like, "Yeah, you shouldn't say that," and she'd be like, "Oh, right." I feel like romance films are all the same. I mean, no. There are some that are absolutely formulaic. Rugrats. I did watch Rugrats as a kid. No, I wouldn't say they're all the same. There is definitely an issue with some of them being really formulaic. But there's always a few. Like, there's always some that are that are unique and interesting and don't fit and don't adhere to the formula the same way. Beyond that, no strings attached, and the humor felt dry, in my personal opinion. Yeah, I mean, it happened. And yeah, beyond the fact that there's always some that are outside the norm. Even the ones that are formulaic, there's a reason for it. It's a formula that works. It's a formula that people want to see in those movies. They are comfort films. A romantic comedy is a comfort film. So, are a lot of them formulaic? Yeah, because that's the point of going to them. Too much certain jokes considering it's rated R. Yeah, I can see that. Money hungry. It's not even that. It's like I said, it's what people want. It's the whole point of the genre. Like it's a major point of the genre is you know what to expect and you know you just want a 90-minute film where you turn your brain off and watch attractive people fall in love. Like it's just it's comforting. Same reason why people love those holiday Hallmark films. Yeah. Female character and no strings attached was annoying as hell. Yeah. Love isn't real. Yeah, I mean, you watch a Hallmark holiday film, that they're going to learn the true meaning of Christmas and come together as a family and love each other and la 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 la. Comfort should disturb the art, and art should love the disturbed. I mean, it can. All the Hallmark films follow the same formula. Art is not one thing. When people talk about like, oh, art should do this, art should do that, art is not one thing. It can be a million different things serving a million different purposes. Is a urinal art? I say yes, but Vanna says no. That absolutely was an art piece because it got the point of that particular art installation was to get a conversation started about what is art, which sure as hell achieved that. So it was absolutely a piece of art. You can like or dislike it, but it achieved its purpose. I say I am art. Yeah, like some art is there to provoke. Some art is there to comfort. Some is meant to offer praise. Some offer condemnation. Some art is there for rich people to launder money. Absolutely, it very much is. Creation in order to subdue the torment of perception. Art elicits emotion, whether it's angry, sad, or happy. And I mean, even then, you get art that's not really meant to elicit emotion. Some art is, some art is genuinely just there to look, is genuinely just there to cover up a space on a wall. That's fine too. Sometimes it is just there so that the wall doesn't look as bare. Last Airbender? No. Neither the show nor the movie. I've argued the case that your channel is art. High art, even. My channel is the art that you put in a wall just to so that the wall isn't as barren. My my channel is the equivalent of like the art in dentist office waiting rooms. Do you feel like the human population is going down? Well, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure it's still steady, still like going up a little bit. Yeah, my channel is the equivalent of the art that you find on dentist office waiting rooms. Hey, Hazelnut. Yeah, I think the population is still increasing a little bit, globally at least. Some countries have low, like some countries are sort of going down. Well, the art of my dentist is Christian. Well, not your. Okay, so it's not your dentist office then. My channel is not equivalent to your dentist office. We keep sharing until I die, or do you have an age limit you'll stop? I don't know. I mean, how piss poor a job I do at my taking care of my health. Hey, Kismet. Well, the dentist office I've been to have been very Christian. That is weird. Here millennials are choosing to not have kids. Yeah, because they can't afford it. It's a combination of millennials not being able to afford kids and being like, why would I bring a kid into a world where that is the way it currently is? Yeah, like it's really expensive, and right now, reality is if you're not already rich, you're kind of fucked. Yeah, like you need money to be able to. I mean, there's fascism is on the rise. The rich are increasingly exploitative. Very dangerous to have kids in here in the US. Yeah, that's not helping. The abortion bans in a lot of states mean that even if you want kids, If if something happened, late in the pregnancy, your kid's not like, if even if the baby's not going to survive, doctors won't do anything until you are actually like about to die. There have been a few cases of women dying because they couldn't get a medically necessary abortion in time. Because Republicans are fucking evil. Genuinely, Republicans are a fucking death cult. Like, there's no way around it. They are a fucking death cult. Guy just got executed. A guy just got executed in Missouri yesterday for a crime he didn't commit. Stream next year for your 60th birthday. Not gonna lie, it does feel that way, Brooke. Does feel like I'm going on 60. Especially anytime I have to go downstairs. Just... Yeah, Marcellus Williams, I think was his name. Got convicted of murder. Was given the death penalty. And even the prosecution, like the prosecutors, the people who are actually responsible for putting him on death row in the first place, they came out and said, you know what? We think there's actually pretty good evidence that he wasn't guilty. Like the people whose job was to say he's guilty ended up coming out later and saying, actually, you know what? We think we might have made a mistake. He got put to death yesterday. Hey, Benzie. The governor refused to stop it. The courts refused to stop it. Anyone who had the power to step in and say, like, you know what, we're not going to kill this person who didn't commit the crime that they're being executed for. All those Republicans were like, no, we can kill him. It's fine. He was convicted. It doesn't matter if he's actually guilty or innocent. He was convicted. Doesn't matter if a mistake was made. His actual guilt or innocence is completely irrelevant. Are they going to take a plea deal, less than a sentence, in exchange for naming a bunch of celebrities? Knew what was going on, didn't report it. I mean, by all means, call those people out. But at the same time, Diddy was the one doing the shit. But anyway, yeah. So basically, the state of Missouri literally murdered somebody yesterday. Governor of Missouri is accessory to murder. The courts are accessory to murder. Supreme Court 6 justices on the Supreme Court are accessories to murder. Name something you think is overrated. Sex. I'm joking. I don't know. A lot of things are probably overrated. No. Things and stuff. I agree. Sex is super overrated. I do like cuddling. Sex is great, but have you ever curled up under a warm blanket on a cold day? Way better than sex. Name brand anything is overrated. A lot of times, yeah. Or like have you ever had like a really stiff muscle and then like you finally manage to like crack it or something? And just like all the tension finally just leaves it. Hell of a feeling right there. Tiger Balm works wonders on stiff muscles. Yeah, like you finally manage to stretch just right. That's one of those like super rare feelings as well. Like where you manage to just stretch just right to pop something and all of a sudden, oh wow, that feels so good. So good you have to let out a noise. Exactly. Courage the Cowardly Dog impression. I don't know what Courage the Cowardly Dog sounds like. So, sorry. Game's looking forward to playing. Class of 09, the re-up. I'm looking forward to Class of 09, the flip side. Class of 09, the flip side. That's what I'm looking forward to. Which we will be starting tomorrow. Other than that, Our Life Now and Forever doesn't have a release date yet, but SpongeBob. Never watched SpongeBob. So Our Life Now and Forever is a game that I've been keeping an eye on. I've played the original. No release date, but keeping an eye on it. Because I backed it on Kickstarter, I get updates pretty regularly. Other upcoming games. Date Everything. Also doesn't have a release date, but seems pretty fun. Here's one that actually seems pretty interesting. Drops of Death. Hey, Brooka. Drops of Death. It's not due out for another year. October 2025 is the expected release date, so it's another year away. But a murder mystery visual novel with a romantic twist. The killer is randomly chosen at the start of each playthrough, and you may unknowingly fall in love with them. Like, that's a really cool idea, right? Like, yeah, I played Life is Strange. I recorded Life is Strange on my channel. I did I did like a full Let's Play of Life is Strange remastered. The remastered version of Life is Strange along with Before the Storm. Did a full Let's Play with lots of like mention, throwing in, mention a fair bit of trivia while I went along. So, speaking of which, the team that the studio that did it, Don't Nod. They've actually got a new game coming out that looks pretty cool. Lost Records, Bloom and Rage. Film your summer of 1995 and create memories of a lifetime with your new friends. 27 years later, confront the dark secrets that made you all promise to never speak again after that fateful summer. There's something to listen to while cooking. I will say, my Life is Strange Let's Play, very few of those videos are monetized because I did not cut the music. I kept the music in. Fucking love the soundtrack for the original and Before the Storm. Like, I did really love the soundtrack for that one. But yeah, because I kept that, because all that music is obviously copyrighted, meant that I couldn't monetize my Let's Play of it. Anyway, yeah, like I said, Lost Records, Bloom and Rage. That one is due out in February. Bonzi, props for keeping in the music. Thank you very much for the $5 super chat, Bonzi. Props for keeping in the music. I mean, it's one of those things where like the music is a big part. For any game I like, for all the games I play, I keep in the music. If I don't make money off it, oh no, I'm making no money from YouTube anyway. So oh no, I'm not making money from this game. So I just keep in the original music. It doesn't matter. And like for any game, the music that's in there, like obviously it's music that the developers felt was important. Like that, they put it there for a reason. And for Life is Strange in particular, yeah, the music that's in it is a huge part of it. Like that bit where you first leave the classroom, and I'm blanking on the song, but that song by Sid Matters starts playing. To All of You. Yeah, To All of You by Sid Matters starts playing. That scene would not be the same without that song. It absolutely enhances that scene. Thoughts on the 2000s X-Men films? So my main thought is that they do not hold up. Um, a big part of why those films were so successful at the time was because there was so little to compare it to. We have had vastly superior superhero films since then that make it clear the shortcomings of those films. The first X-Men film was good. The first X-Men movie was good. Not perfect. I'm not a fan of how it handled Cyclops, who is one of the main X-Men, like one of the most important X-Men, one of the best X-Men. Don't have to come back accurate suits. Yeah, and like the joke about like, what do you expect? Yellow spandex? Yeah, bitch, of course I expected yellow spandex. You're fucking superheroes. Dress the part. Hey, alien tourist. But like, is hey marbles. But like, the first one was good. Not great because, like I said, handling of Cyclops and Storm started, dragged it down a bit in my estimation. They got progressively worse after that. And like the First Class movies, hated them. All the first, like I did not like any of the First Class movies, including the First Class. Wear spandex for the next live? No. I've said this before, and I stand by this. Of all the ensemble X-Men films, New Mutants was genuinely the best. Hot take, I know. That is the absolute hottest of hot takes. Eddie Brock and Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man's awful. He was. It was a bad, yeah, it was bad. Spider-Man 3 was just bad. And Ultimate Alliance, he should have played Nightcrawler or Gambit. I stuck with Storm. Lightning! 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 I like lightning. I think I chose other. Like I think I'd occasionally play some other characters, but yeah, Storm was my main. Because lightning is effective. Hit enemies from really far away. Yeah. Yeah, like I was saying, for the ensemble X-Men films, hottest of hot takes, New Mutants was the best. Because it was the only one that actually, like, a big part, like it was trying to do something different. And honestly, it's the only one that actually tried to do anything with people from marginalized communities. Every other fucking X-Men film was, hey, look at this straight white dude saving the day. Who's your favorite Ninja Turtle? Donatello. Yeah, the entirety of all the X-Men films. It was look at the brave straight white men. Apocalypse was actually the worst offender of that. X-Men Apocalypse was the worst for that. Hero team, all straight white people, like all white people. Like the heroes were like every fucking one of the heroes was a white person. And the villains were almost all people of color. James Marsden did a good Cyclops. He was good in the role. It was just a shit role he was given. Yeah, like X-Men Apocalypse. Look at the bad guys. Apocalypse, Egyptian, meaning black. Magneto, Jewish. Storm, black. Psylocke, Asian. Angel is the only one on that team who wasn't white, or who wasn't from a marginalized community. Angel is white, the only one who wasn't from a marginalized community. And then look at the heroes: Cyclops, Quicksilver, Professor X, Jean Grey, Mystique. Whole lot of white, not a lot of fucking melanin on that team. Not a lot of fucking melanin among the heroes. It was a bunch of white people. It was a bunch of white people fighting against the evil people of color. Nobody involved in that movie actually saw a problem with it. The fact that it was literally about a bunch of white people fighting a bunch of evil people of color. Like, are you fucking kidding me? No one saw a problem with it? No one thought, hey, maybe we should have a couple of black people on the hero side. Just, nobody saw a problem with the optics. Nobody looked at that and thought, hey, that's some pretty weird fucking optics that we've got going on right here. But I mean, that goes back to the first class movie. Like X-Men First Class, they've got mostly white people, but they've got a black dude, and I think Angel might have been Latina. I have not seen The Boys now. Yeah, they had a couple of people of color on the main team. The black dude, whose power is literally not dying, dies. And then the Latina betrays the heroes to side with the villains. So once again, it's all the white people to the rescue. Don't know about Homelander. I know about Homelander. I know that he's basically a white supremacist, a fascist. So I know, and like a rapist. So I do know that Homelander is just the absolute fucking worst. Yeah, I mean, that just feels like a problem with the X-Men. And frankly, hey, bourgeois. It's a problem with the X-Men franchise in general. A lot of straight white people who are all about, who are all the big heroes. Yeah, you got Storm. You think the X-Men exist in the MCU? If they don't yet, they will soon. Yeah, you've got Storm as like the big black woman. Jubilee's fairly common character, and she's Asian American. Bishop's black. He shows up pretty often. Yeah, the franchise is trying to get better. But I remember looking at a thing for like that From the Ashes relaunch, and like there's Uncanny X-Men, 5 characters, all straight, all and well, no, not straight, but yeah, like 5 characters, only one of them is non-white. And then the other team, much bigger cast, and does have a couple of non-white people. But yeah, it's just where's the fucking melanin in this? Yeah, like where's the canonically and clearly queer characters in this allegory for marginalized communities? Does color of a fictional character genuinely matter? Well, say you're saying since the 70s, since Chris Claremont took over the comic, like since the Chris Claremont era, the X-Men have been stand-ins for marginalized communities. That wasn't really the intention of Lee and Kirby. They weren't really thinking about, oh, these are stand-in for that's revisionism. Lee talking about, oh, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, that's revisionism. But Claremont and the artists that he was working with, and the editors, really promoted the idea of the X-Men as mutants, as a marginalized community, as a stand-in for marginalized people. In the 1970s, and even for most of the 1980s, his representation of people of color was not great, and queer people weren't allowed to exist in the comics at all back then. So, it's the fact that the team was primarily white back then, not as egregious. But over the past 20 years in particular, especially since Morrison, actually decided, if they're going to be a marginalized community, we're going to actually treat them the way, we're actually going to present them as a minority with their own culture and shit like that. Ever since the Morrison era, it became increasingly ridiculous for X-Men teams to be majority straight white. Because that is an allegory for marginalized communities. If you're going to tell stories about marginalized communities, feature characters from those communities. That's sort of my thing. If you want mutants to be a stand-in for queer people, how about throwing in some actual fucking queer people here and there? If they're a stand-in for disabled people, maybe some disabled characters might actually make some goddamn sense. I don't know. Like Professor X. Depending on whether he's walking or not, depending on what year it is, yeah. Because Professor X is one of those guys who, he's crippled. Oh, now he's able to walk again. Oh, he's crippled again. Oh, hey, he's walking again. During the Krakoa era, he was walking around again. Hurrah! No idea if he's crippled again right now. Apparently, Magneto's crippled in the comics these days. So first of all, Bourgeois, I'm talking about not just talking about the movies. I'm talking about the comics as well. The comics are bad at not having characters who actually come from marginalized communities. Comics are bad for having characters who are all straight white people. But in terms of isn't the ability to portray them? No. The answer to your question, Bourgeois, is kind of no. Because here's the thing. Let's use disability as an example for a minute. Having an able-bodied actor play a disabled character It's like, oh, well, hey, as long as they can do the role. The thing is, there are disabled actors out there who are not getting work. You don't see disabled actors playing able-bodied characters. You see able-bodied actors playing disabled characters. While the actual hey Uncle Buck, while the actual disabled actors, hey Michelle, the actual disabled actors are shit out of luck. An even better example is trans representation. You will never see a trans woman cast to play a cis woman. Cousin was disabled, would, and never did want special treatment. And that's fine. But like, we're not talking about special treatment. We're talking about, hey, give them a fucking job. Like, she may not have wanted special treatment, but I assume that she still wanted a fucking job. Right? Disabled actors are the same thing. Disabled actors want to work. It's why they got into acting, is so that they can fucking act, so that they can get some fucking work. But they don't get those jobs because, oh, hey, this fucking able-bodied actor wants to do the role. Oh, there's going to be a character in a wheelchair? Oh, well, let's get some dude who can walk around just fine, rather than the dude who actually lives in a wheelchair. I'm a good actor. Should I shoot myself so I'm able to get the role? No, you should. What you should do is say, hey, shouldn't this role go to somebody who actually is disabled so that that actress can get some work? Because the able-bodied actress, she can get another job. The person who's confined to a wheelchair is not going to be able to get a job, is not going to be able to get a role that isn't specifically about being confined to a wheelchair. Just watched a movie the other day where a transformer played a cis woman on Netflix. Yeah, so like, just like a random, just, yeah, I don't think that she ever has, but Sandra Bullock, I don't think Sandra Bullock's ever played a disabled character, but like, Sandra Bullock can get a job as, in whatever, can get hired in whatever she wants. It's called Uglies. Movie's really shit. Fair enough. Like, feel like disabled people not represented in comics. I mean, they're definitely not very well. Especially like, Big Two, not Transformer, Transwoman. But let's use another example. I'm actually going to use trans people as an example. When some big name male actor, when some big name cis male actor plays a trans woman, that is a role. That is a job that does not go to an actual trans woman. Meanwhile, that cis male actor, he can do this movie, he can do that movie, he can do that romantic comedy, he can do that action movie, he can do this, he can do that, he can do whatever, he can do any type of movie. The trans woman, she's not going to be getting those parts. Doesn't matter how good she is. She's not going to be getting the roles of, she's not going to be getting the lead in the romantic comedy. She'll be lucky to be the sassy best friend. He may be a better actor. No, what it is he is the bigger name actor. It's not about them being the better actor. It's that they're the bigger name. So like Scarlett Johansson. I'm forgetting the name of the doctor, but there was this doctor. Dr. James something or other. I think like late 19th century, early 20th century. Before women were actually allowed to be doctors. There was this doctor. Identified as female at birth, or assigned female at birth. Lived his whole life as a man, though. Like the popular theory is that it was just a disguise to get work as a doctor, but like literally lived every part of his life from then on. Didn't want an autopsy done after he died. He wanted to be known even after death, when it would no longer matter. He wanted to be known as a man. Scarlett Johansson was going to make a biopic about this guy, and she was going to play the main role. She was going to play the doctor, and people objected because, hey, it's a trans man is not a woman in disguise. She ended up canceling the whole movie. She could have cast a trans dude to play the role. She was the producer. She was the executive producer. She could have cast a trans guy to play the role, but she's like, "Oh no! If I don't get to do it, then nobody does." Was it Jared Leto from that Dallas Buyers Club? Like, a trans woman is not a guy in drag. That's what it comes down to. A trans woman is not a man in drag. When you cast a cis man to play a trans woman, that is the message being sent. That trans women are just men in drag. And that's not true. What about cis women? Can they play a trans woman? Genuinely better than casting a cis man in the role. Like, I would honestly consider that to be better than casting a cis man in the role of to play a trans woman. Bigger name is trans, but they don't. But the reason that transgender actors aren't bigger names is because they're not getting those fucking roles. Hey, Killface. Like, how are they supposed to be big names when they don't get any fucking jobs? When they're not getting cast in good roles? When the best they can hope for is to be supporting characters in this fucking cis dude's obnoxious fucking vanity project. Obnoxious fucking Oscar bait vanity project. They don't get to be the stars. Scarlett Johansson could have played another role in that movie. Yeah, she could have played the female love interest because that doctor did hook up with women. So like, if she wanted the movie about this guy made, and she wanted to get it, and she wanted to make sure that it still got attention, she could have played a female character in the movie. Yeah, she could have played a woman in the movie. When we have the trans actors available. I mean, there's that. There absolutely are enough, but they never get work. They get like there was that woman on Orange is the New Black. Like there was that one in Orange is the New Black, and yeah, Elliot Page came out as trans and started. Elliot Page transitioned while he was still working on Umbrella Academy. There are a few who do get. Sense8. There was that Sense8. One of the actors in that was trans, I think. There was one who got a role on Star Trek Strange New Worlds, actually. Actually, Star Trek Discovery had both a trans man and a non-binary person, and Strange New Worlds. What was, I believe, was an actual trans woman. Yeah, Jesse James Keitel. So they're out there. Proposed solution. I mean, my proposed solution is if you're going to make a movie where the main character is like, if you're going to make a movie where one of the characters is trans, literally cast a trans person. And yeah, they will be getting hired on merit because they're not just fucking grabbing some random person off the street. Yeah, they're saying, hey, I mean, like, trans only need apply. Like, that is, you have any fucking idea how common it is for, like, we need actors, casting calls are all about, this is what we are looking for. Character is a black woman, aged 20 to 25. This, and this traits. Character is a teen boy, aged 13 to 16. This, and this traits. Like, it's how casting works. They say, like, the director is like, these are this is what we're looking for. Like, for this character, this is what we want for this character. Character is Asian American, blah, 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 blah. Six-year-old can't be cast as a preteen. Exactly. Like, they look for specific things. Character is this age. Character is this gender. Character is this race. Character is this height. Characters between 5'6" and 5'10", like height, like everything. Character has a fucking beard. Like they look for specific things. And I mean, some of the some traits are easy to fake. You know, character's a brunette. If you're blonde, we can you can dye your hair. It's how casting works. They look for people who match certain what they're looking for. So yeah, if you're going to be doing a trans character, then yeah, character is trans between these ages. These traits preferred, this height range preferred. Must know how to juggle, whatever. Acting pool for this one. Sure, but I mean, they don't. A lot of times, they don't even try. What about Shakespeare plays? All the women are men. Back in the day, yeah. Must know how to juggle. I mean, sometimes yes, that is what. Sometimes that is literally what they might be looking for. Like sometimes they're looking for specific skills as well. Yeah. Period piece set in. It's a movie about knights in medieval Europe. Horse riding skill required. Like that's a genuine thing. Like sometimes like we need somebody who you need to know how to ride a horse. Fun fact: you'd be surprised how many actors have gotten roles by lying about knowing how to ride horses. And that's exactly what I'm saying, Killface. You'd be surprised how many actors are like, oh yeah, I can do that. They can't do it. Riding horses is actually a weirdly common one. It's just like surprisingly often. It is weird how often it has happened where an actor's like, "Oh, I know how to ride a horse. Yeah, absolutely, I definitely know how to ride a horse," and they had no idea how to ride a horse. Not sure. Like it's of all this, the like random skills that actors lie about having. That one seems to be one of the most common, which is just it's just amusing. But yeah, there is no doubt in my mind that there have been times where that there have been casting sheets sent out that said must know how to juggle. They felt me like happens all the time. Yeah, just yeah, all those experienced horse riders. Yeah, it's just falling all over the place. Definitely a thing that experienced horse riders do. That said, that's actually a surprisingly dangerous thing to live. It's got a Trump. Ew, a Trump ad. Fuck Donald Trump. That is actually a weirdly dangerous thing to lie about as well. Because I mean, you can get seriously hurt falling off a horse. Sean Young was originally supposed to play Kim Bassinger's role in Batman, but she lied and fell off a horse in a stunt and became an alcoholic from losing the role. When was there a horse in Batman? Given they cast actors in the late 20s to play teenagers. Yeah. Yeah, that's always a weird thing. remember watching Batman. I watched it a few times. I do not remember a horse in that movie. Teen Boy had crow's feet. Yep. Hi, Flo. They cut it out because she got hurt. Suppose after one actress got hurt falling out the horse, they're like, you know what? Let's just cut the horse. We don't need to keep going through actresses until we find the one who actually knows how to ride a horse. I suppose the two options were either keep letting actresses get hurt falling off it until they found one who actually did know how to ride a horse, or just cut the horse scene entirely. That is hilarious. Sucks for Sean Young though. Sucks for her. Anyway, I've given you an extra half hour, so I'm going to get going now. I gave you all an extra half hour. So it's not like you have anything to complain about that I'm leaving. So thanks for coming. Good night, everybody. Jecka tomorrow.